What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the shop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. I hope all of you are doing awesome. Let's see. Why won't it let me scroll? There we go. I think we fixed it. Paul's here. Paul says, good morning, all. Neptunes is here. Right on. You guys beat me. Sam's here. Sam says hello. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. What's going on? Sam says it's 4 p.m. in the UK. 9 a.m. here. Neptune says, I wish it was 4 p.m. I'd be off from work then. And Dallo's here. Dallo says, I thought this week got skipped. Nope. Trying to not skip a week. Unless, like, today was Christmas or something. Anyway, how was everybody's Christmas? Hope everybody had an awesome day, spending some time with family and friends, or eating some good food and all that stuff. What's going on? We're back at it. Neptune says, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a good holiday. Dallas says it's 1 a.m. here. Woo. And Mike's here. Mike says, morning. Morning, Mike. What's going on? What's everybody up to today? A little bit of a snowy day. We had some kind of blizzard-like weather the last day or so. Not real bad here, but I guess north of us got quite a bit. Some areas, anyway. Robert says, well, this is weird. I thought it was just Tuesday. You know, that's both of us, Robert. Because yesterday, I thought yesterday was Monday. I thought Christmas was Sunday. I'm all mixed up. So yeah, I had to keep that in my mind that today's actually Wednesday, and we're gonna hang out. Kind of crazy how the holidays kind of mess with your brain. But anyway, we are here, and thank you all for tuning in on this Wednesday that feels like a Tuesday. Or Thursday, depending on where you are. Paul says, Neptunes, it was nice. Hope yours was as well. Right on. Oh, Sam says 10 Celsius here. Yeah, we're a little warmer than that, actually. We're probably, no, wait, 10 Celsius. No, we're not warmer. Never mind. Me Got Wood says, good morning, Jeff. Well, good morning to you. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Paul says 32 here yesterday. Nice day for a ride. Yeah, 32 is not bad. As long as you don't have ice and snow. And Neptune says, same here. Thought it was Monday on Tuesday. Yes, I've been mixed up all week. And it's probably going to take me a couple of days to get back on track. Weird how our brains get mixed around with certain things. Cheers, everyone. Got some nice hot coffee today. A little bit different coffee than I normally drink. This one is, this is a French vanilla flavored coffee. I don't typically do flavored coffees, but there's something about that I really enjoy. It's like a treat. Mike says, just wait, I'm guessing waking up. How did your secret build go with the daughter? It went awesome. We didn't get discovered during the building process. And yeah, it turned out great. If you saw the video, you know that thing was kind of weird shaped, so we wrapped it like all weird. And she couldn't figure out what it was. She picked it up and she's like, oh, what is this? But yeah, it went awesome. So thank you all for helping me keep that a secret. And if you haven't seen it, we're talking about the cowboy hat stand that I made. The video went up this past Saturday. If you haven't seen it yet, head over to the channel and check it out. Brian, my hermit life says, hey, it's break time in Minnesota, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Right on, that's about what we're at. Somewhere around there. Robert says, my watch died on me, and it's harder for me to keep up with the days. I know it has days and date on my phone, but just not as easy. Yeah, there's something. You'll have to get a new battery for it. Andreas is here. Says minus 14 in Värmland, Sweden. Oh, sorry if I mispronounced that. That's awesome. Right on. Welcome. Minus 14. What is that in Fahrenheit? I'm not good with that conversion in my head. But I'm trying. I'm trying to learn it. So minus 14. So you're about, wow, it's not quite 0 Fahrenheit, I believe, but minus, wait a minute, am I looking at that wrong? No, minus 14. No, it is just below 0. Just below 0. We'll stay warm in Sweden. Sorry, I'm looking away. I have a thermometer over there that I try to use to help me get those temperatures in check. Me got Wood says 33 here in Tucson. Right on. Neptune says Christmas was good, even having to work. That's a drag, having to work on Christmas. I've been there, done that. Robert says, bought myself some orange jelly candy and finally got here. Yeah, you know, we've got a thing or two that didn't arrive in time, so nothing wrong with a late Christmas present. It extends the holidays. Sam says, make a year-long advent calendar, an excuse to eat chocolate all year round. We don't need an excuse, just eat it. But that'd be kind of crazy. 365-day advent calendar. Let's see. Paul says, spent Christmas building a show rack system for the daughter and a stand for her the iPad device. Interesting. That sounds cool. Yeah, I didn't get any shop time on Christmas. You know, just with the holidays and, you know, didn't get out here too much until yesterday. Kind of been, you know how it is. You know, you're doing last minute preparations and trying to take care of things. It's been a couple days. I haven't gotten a whole lot done out here, but since I finished the hat stand, I'm back on the acoustic. That thing has been kicking my butt on the finish. So you remember I was talking about the, well, I can show you. Well, I don't know if I want to move it. I don't want this cable to cut out. But I mentioned a week or so ago that I had trouble with the finish. After I polished it all out in the video, I went back, like I said, and tried to touch up a couple areas that I thought I could do a little bit better on. I ended up sanding through the finish and had to respray the top. I did the same thing with the sides. 2 little spots on the sides, sanded through, because trying to make it a little better. So I had to respray the sides. Finally, I got everything polished out to where I'm happy with it, and now I've peeled the tape, and I'm getting everything located, the bridge located, and I'm hoping in the next day or so, hopefully today, but we'll see how it goes, that I can get the neck glued on and then the bridge glued on. That's my goal. So I don't think I'm going to have this done by the very end of the year. There's still time. It just is going to depend on what kind of time I get to work here in the shop. I do want to film a video for this weekend. We talked about it, excuse me, talked about it a while back. Neptunes, I think it was your idea. I can't quite remember. But top 5 projects for the year. And so I want to film that really quick. And that's the plan for this weekend. We'll see how that goes. But I really want to try to push forward and get that acoustic done. Sorry, the phone was buzzing off. I don't even know why. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Back working on the acoustic. We'll get it done. It might be the beginning of January. I might miss my deadline, my own internal deadline, for it by a day or a week or so, but we're gaining now. Robert says 33 degrees here, but with wind feels like 27. Paul says 7 degrees. And Sam with a super chat. Man, Sam says torch chocolate. Right on, Sam. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Robert says this time of year is just hectic. It is. It is hectic. Even if you don't have a ton of stuff to do, like we didn't have to do a whole bunch of things, but it's just, the last minute this and the last minute that, and I'm ready for January. Paul says, after the shop, spent Christmas with best friend, eating good food, and shipping some bourbon on ice. Oh, sipping. Sipping some bourbon on ice. I'm like, why are you shipping it? That's just me, not being able to read. Right on. It sounds like a good day, Paul. Robert said, went to my sister's for Christmas. She sent some leftovers back with me, so I'm set for the week. I love leftovers. Leftover mashed potatoes and all the good stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. We made a ham here for us on Christmas Eve. So we've got like a big ham left over, and of course all the mashed potatoes and all the good stuff. Robert says, likes people please. Well, thanks, Robert. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. This is the last live stream of 2023. Can you believe that? Wow. As of right now, I'm not planning to skip any weeks. So next Wednesday, we'll be live again. So, yeah, the first live of 2024. Man, it's going to take me a long time to get used to 24, saying 2024. You guys get the same thing? Every time, we get to the next year, it takes forever for me to get used to saying that year. Thankfully, I don't write a whole lot of checks anymore, but I used to get into February or March and still write the previous year. Paul says, I need to spend this weekend rebuilding my segmenting sled and spraying a guitar body. Don't know if it's going to be too cold to do that. Can't bring inside because the fumes. Yeah, fumes are tough. Says the fumes bother the wife. Yeah, I mean, just in general. Like, I don't mind the smell of most finishes, but I wouldn't want it inside the house for the most part. Like, I'll bring parts in after I've sprayed them, and it stinks up the house a little bit, but it's not quite the same as spraying. As far as temperatures go, I don't know what kind of finish you're spraying necessarily, but I mean, if you can get it up into that, upper 60s, lower 70s, I mean, you should be golden. Paul says, love some leftover ham sandwiches. Oh, me too. I ate one yesterday. Yeah, ham on some rolls or piece of bread or anything. So good. So good. Neptune says, I'm still working on my NAS and network project. Ordered 4 10 terabyte enterprise drives. Come with a 5-year warranty, so I figured I'd give them a try. Nice. Yeah, I was doing some more research for a few minutes yesterday. Just looking at network, NAS type devices. I'm still going back and forth as to if I want to try to build one or buy one. I don't know. But I'm looking into it a little bit more. Yeah, that sounds like that's 40 terabytes. Depending on how you configure them, it's quite a bit of space. Paul said, remember, Monday is 123 123. Probably some sort of conspiracy going around about that. Not that I've heard, but nor am I interested. Dallo says, I don't want to get older. It's just a number, right? Come on. Yeah. You're only as old as you feel, isn't that what they say? Robert says to Paul, best of luck with your projects. Yes. And Sam's, have you tried British mice pies? It's not meat, it's mixed fruit. Interesting. I have not. I've had mincemeat pie before, but I don't think I've had it made the traditional way with actual meat in it. And Paul says I can warm the shop, but I use solar battery backup, so can't leave it on overnight. Would drain the batteries. Yeah, what I usually do this time of year, with the acoustic, when I originally sprayed it, it was nice and warm out, so it wasn't a big deal. But when I had to respray it, I just cranked up all the heat in the morning, got it, in that 70-degree range, and then I shut everything off while it was still warm. Then I did this spraying, and it worked out okay. From there, once I was done spraying, then I turned the heat back on to maintain, let it dry for the most part, and then I took it inside and let it hang up in there, hung it up in there. That way I didn't have to worry about trying to keep everything warm, overnight or anything like that. So that's how I did it. Maybe something like that would work out for you. As long as I can get it warm enough to spray and then dry, to the touch, then I'll, take it inside, hang it up in a safe place, and let it sit. And Neptune's got an air quality monitor for Christmas for my 3D printing. Cool. I've thought about that. Getting something like that. And Robert says to Dallo, it's really not that bad getting older, other than the aches and pains. I get aches and pains from time to time as well. Neptune's RAID 5 will give me 30 terabytes. Yeah, see, a 30 terabyte array, for me, I think, right now anyway, would work pretty well. Sam says, mince pies. Oh, I've had mince meat, but with not, like you said, without the meat. It's my understanding, though, back in the day, years ago, mincemeat pie actually had meat. And I've never tried that, but I have had mincemeat. Sam says, your enterprise drives, did you make it so, Mr. Crusher? That one's over my head. Oh boy. Anyway, I want to show you carefully. I'm going to try to pick this up carefully. The acoustic. So it's all squeaky from being shiny. But I'm just getting everything laid out. Scraping any finish that was overhanging. I got the bridge. Getting that located. Almost fits in. I got a little bit more finish scraping to go. I'm trying to get it to where it drops into place. But I'm pretty happy with it now. After having to respray both the top and then the side, pretty happy with it now. So that's my project for the next couple of days. Oh, Sam says it's Star Trek. That's why. I'm not a Star Trek or Star Wars really. So a lot of times the jokes or whatever go right over. Reek says, that guitar is beautiful, man. Well, thank you. Thank you. It's been fighting me, or I've been fighting it on this finish step. Just through making mistakes, really. Sanding through the finish, respraying. But now I am happy with this. And, yeah, it's gonna get it all together. So there's kind of, I can hold this up without dropping it. Sort of what it's gonna look like. Let's see. Sorry, the comments scrolled and I got to catch back up here. Neptune says I'll make it so when they show up. Well, when they show up. Yeah, let us know. Dastardly Dave's here. Dave says, sup all. Sam says, who's going to stretch their G string over that guitar? Well, I guess that's going to be me. Not that G string. Set that down before I drop it and have to fix it again. Dallas says, aches and pains. Hope you all spend a healthy year. Yeah, I hope everyone has an awesome New Year's. If that's your thing. Used to be my thing. Not so much my thing anymore. I'd almost rather go to bed, but I think we're going to go to a friend's house for a little while, and I don't know if I'll make it till midnight or not. You sometimes don't. Dave says, going to be a gorgeous guitar, Jeff. Thanks, Dave. Fingers crossed. It's not done till it's done. There's still opportunities for me to ruin it. Not that I'm trying to, but I kind of look at it like every step is a potential disaster if I'm not careful. Robert says, looking good. Neptune says, that looks good. Della says, is that a mirror or something? Cool reflection. Yeah, I'm happy with the way it polished out. You know, like I did when I said in the video, I thought it looked awesome. You know, and then I got to examining it a little bit closer, and like I said, I found just a couple spots, and I should have left them because it seriously added probably 2 more weeks to the project. But it's better now. I'm glad I didn't leave them. Paul says, "Okay, change of plans. Send T-style thin line to Jeff to spray." If you need help, let me know. Mike says, will you be finishing the bridge on the guitar? Yes, but not in the same type of finish. So the bridge is rosewood. It's just going to get an oil finish put on it. Once I have everything glued in place, then I'll oil the bridge after it's glued down. No glossy finish like the rest. Traditionally, the bridges just get a oil, just like the fretboard. That way they'll both kind of have that same look. So I'm sure some people maybe they finish the bridge with a gloss of some sort, but I think for the most part most people don't, and I'm not either. I'm just gonna give it a wipe down with some oil, along with the fretboard. Call it good. So Mike, that's all I'm doing. Just an oil finish. Simple. Keep it simple. Sam says it's dark here already. I bet, yeah, if you're 4:30. But there's an upside. Since we're now past the 21st of December, our days are slowly getting longer, which means a little more daylight. We're one day at a time closer to going back to daylight savings, or whatever it's called in the summertime. Dave says, a gorgeous guitar or a gorgeous wall hanger? I vote for the first one. Fingers crossed. I'm with you, Dave. And so far, so good. You know, as I'm getting much closer to the end, the chances for making critical mistakes are less, but they're not non-existent yet. I think it's going to be fine. I say that, but I think it's going to be okay, and yeah, I think it's going to turn out fine. My next step, just a little bit more on the acoustic, is to I'm going to bolt the neck in place. I'm going to double check my alignment and make sure I don't need to make any adjustments before gluing the neck down. So then once I get the neck glued down, then I'll go back and I can triple check the alignment of the bridge, make sure that's in the right spot. Before I started spraying, everything was correct. So I just want to make sure you know, double, triple, quadruple check everything before I apply glue to wood. And then from there, once those are glued in place, it's installing the frets and some fretwork and just really the final assembly. Robert says there's a YouTube channel called Tasting History that talks about different recipes. That episode was on making a panettone. I was telling my sister about it, and she gave me one while I was there. Oh, no way. That's cool. There's another one that I kind of enjoy. What is that called? Where they visit a whole bunch of recipes from, you know, the 1700s, early 1800s. What in the world is that called now? I can't think of it. Super cool channel. Man. I think I've mentioned it before. They have like a kind of a period correct like homestead where they do a lot of stuff from. Man, what is the name of that? If you guys know what I'm talking about, post it over there. I can't think of it. I think it's the something. Huh, that's going to drive me nuts now. I can't think of it. Townsend's, I believe it is. Maybe it's Townsend's or the Townsend's. I think that's it. And they do a bunch of old stuff, and it's kind of cool seeing some of the recipes from, you know, a couple hundred years ago. Sam says if that's an American guitar, it needs a beer and hot dog holder on the neck. Little drink holder up there. Yeah, why not? Beer and hot dogs. I like beer and hot dogs. Paul says one of the strings needs to be longer to hold a cigarette. Do the old slash thing. And Scott's here. Scott says good morning. Good morning, Scott. Scott says Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, Scott, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. How are you doing this fine morning, Scott? Paul says I have the Mountain Man cookbook. Has all kinds of recipes in it. Coyote, skunk. Interesting. Skunk? I mean, I'm sure people eat skunk. I don't know if I'd want to eat a skunk. I mean, I like skunks and all, but I don't know. Possum. Raccoon. Neptune says, welcome, Scott. Right on. Cool. My feet are getting cold. Alrighty, so let's see. What have we not covered? End of the year projects. I think I've already sort of touched base on as to what I'm going to be doing. Shooting that video for the top 5 and finishing this acoustic guitar. Once those are done, it'll be the new year and it's time for new projects. New year, new projects. I still have the horseshoe knives to get back to whenever I can get a forge here. I thought there would be one. I thought I'd be able to this week. Doesn't sound like it. So I'm getting closer and closer to just going and buying one. Although I kind of want to, kind of don't want to. I don't know. But I still got those that I got to get. That I guess that's now. I don't have a date planned for those. That'll be whenever I can get to them. But they're going to get done. I just don't know when. Then I've got a guitar build that I want to tackle from a body that I made probably about 2 years ago. I want to finish that guitar. So that'll be coming up. There's not a whole lot that I need to do for that though, so I'm kind of debating on as to how I want to try to approach that. Really, mostly that I need the biggest thing that I need to do there is finishing. So maybe it'll be a finishing type video. I don't know yet. But I got to get to that, and then I got to build a bass guitar. I got to get that bass going that I've been talking about for years. As, and then from there, who knows? Whatever projects pop up. You guys know how you may not have anything planned, and then all of a sudden you discover that you need a whatever thing. And then yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Those are the main things that I have planned, kind of on the schedule right now. You know, just kind of trying to get some things lined up for for the upcoming new year. Kind of wild. I might in there somewhere start another acoustic too. I don't. We'll see how that goes. I've got parts in pieces for. Well, I've got one back and side set, well, and a top. I've got a whole entire set for a mahogany guitar. That's the one that I wanted to make into a baritone. I might start on that. I don't know. That's kind of been what I've been doing, is just starting to ponder some of the projects that I want to tackle. Just to try to make preparations for, if I need to order parts or get supplies, just trying to make somewhat of a plan moving forward as to what we're going to be doing around here. Do you guys do that? Try to plan for the year, at least somewhat? Sam says, where's the American flag in the workshop? I don't have anywhere to put one, Sam. I mean, other than I think I got a sticker somewhere. Where's that? But yeah, I don't really have a big wall space where I could hang up a big flag. Paul says, sell your soul to Vivor and they'll send you a free forge. They probably would. They probably would. I've looked on theirs too. Harry Dude said I believe he said that they ordered one, or he ordered one. I'm wondering I wonder if he got that yet. Sam says, do you grab power tool merchandise from the stores? Did I buy any? I have not. There's not a whole lot that I'm on the lookout for at the moment. There are a handful of tools that I would like to get, but until I can figure out where I would put them, and I don't have any space. Robert said, I've seen that channel as well. I think it's the Townsends. When I first came across the site, I was wondering if it was related to him, since I have some Townsends on my dad's side of the family. Oh, wow. But they're not related as far as I know anyway. Yeah, it's a pretty cool channel. Neptunes says forgery is illegal, Jeff. I see what you did there. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to get one. I've got a couple recommendations on some to look at. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hope one of these days I know that I'll be able to borrow a forge and use it, but it just depends on how long I'm going to need to wait. Paul says, if the guy backs down, I have a beautiful Brazilian rosewood set, backsides, fingerboard, and bridge with paperwork if you're interested. It says, Paul also has some cocobolo from a slab my neighbor gave me. A cocobolo slab? Wow. I have some material here that I would like to experiment with too. I remember we talked about the silver maple. Remember I had that strip of silver maple and you could like literally bend it into a circle? I really want to build a body out of that. I think I have a couple pieces of Port Orford cedar that I could use for the top. I think it's Port Orford. Maybe it's spruce. I can't remember. I want to experiment with that to see how that bends. Back and sides out of silver maple. I'd like to experiment with this cottonwood too. That giant log that I just milled up, several weeks ago, I guess. I was talking to a friend of mine on that, and we couldn't come up with a reason not to try it. It's from what I can find, it's a softer wood than like a maple. Um, but I don't know. Part of me wants to experiment. I just want to try everything. I don't know how it's going to work out. The the challenge that I'm running into is I don't have a bandsaw big enough to resaw back sets. I can resaw. I could get enough for sides, but I'd have to link up with somebody out here that's got a bigger bandsaw to resaw some pieces. So there's so many things that I want to experiment with, especially in the acoustic world. But knowing how long the whole entire process takes, that's where it gets a little bit challenging. Because I know if I start one, it's going to be, months before I get it done. And if I start, 2 or 3, that's really going to take some time. But we'll see, Paul. We'll see. That does sound cool, Brazilian rosewood. Sam says, if you got a P.O. box, yes, I do. It should be, now I can't see it on my screen here, but depending on what your screen looks like, if you go into the description of this video and scroll down, you should see the P.O. box down there. If you can't locate it, like if you could, try to see if you can get to it right now, and it should show down there. But I do have a P.O. box. It's listed in the description of all my videos. Yeah. And if not, I'll give it out. It's not a secret or anything, but it should be there. Should be able to see it straight away. Paul said, yes, it was 8.5 feet by 2 foot, 8-inch thick. Good grief. Several hundred pounds. Yeah. Wow. Paul said someone gave it to him 15 years ago and has just sat in his garage. I gave it to me to just get rid of it. Good grief. Paul asked, will your bandsaw take a riser kit? No, it will not, unfortunately. It is, it's just a benchtop. It's a little benchtop unit, little Rikon guy. I mean, it's been a great little saw. It's never served me wrong or, served me poorly. I don't know what is that term? It's worked great. It's just, I need to get almost a floor standing unit. And I've probably once a week, I just kind of sit back and I look at how can I rearrange things to fit a floor standing unit. I've got a couple ideas. Actually, I just came up with a couple more ideas right now that might work. It'd be a little awkward, but it might work. But yeah, that's the biggest thing is just floor space. And there's probably ways to rearrange my little area here. But yeah, my little one just doesn't, I think it's got about maybe a 5-inch resaw capacity, just under 5-inch or so. I have thought about trying to actually cut it in half and make my own riser kit. That thought has crossed my mind on more than one occasion. I don't know. Sam says, I see it. Right on. Robert said, yep, the P.O. box is there. If you click the see more, awesome. Yeah, it should show up in all of the videos. I kind of have that as part of the default stuff so that all that information's there. Sam says, maybe I can send you some British Marmite. Is that like the potted meat stuff? I may be way off on that. I'd be down. I'm not scared of it. Paul says, I knew a guy that did that. Made the riser out of ironwood. Yeah, that thought has definitely crossed my mind. Robert says, does the friend that helped you get started with the acoustic have a bandsaw big enough to resaw that you could borrow at his place? Yes. And that was the first person I would call. He does have one larger, and that's likely what I would do. I do know a couple other people sort of nearby me that also have a larger bandsaw. That would probably help me out. But in the end, it comes back to, being able to do what you need to do with the tools and materials that you have. And for me, I don't know. I don't have a problem saying, "Hey, can you help me out?" But it sure would be a lot nicer to be able to just do it myself. You guys like that? That's what would that be? The self-reliance or whatever. I just want to be able to do things myself. Trying like the forge thing. I since I don't have the forge, I got a friend who's going to help me. But I don't know when that's going to be. So I just like to be able to do everything myself. I don't know, and it's not a, I don't know, it's not like a prideful thing. It's just I don't know. I don't know what that word is. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Sam says, if you spread Marmite, spread it very thinly on buttered toast. Sounds good to me. Paul says, just got rid of my 14BX. It might have been too much for your shop size. I went to the 18. Oh, man. Yeah, that would have been, the 14 would have worked fine. I've looked at it several times, the 14BX, and it looks like a mighty fine bandsaw. And probably if I was going to go buy one right now, that's the one I would buy. I just have to find a place to put it. And you know what? Maybe I should just go buy one of these days, and then that'll force me to figure out how to make it work. I don't know if that would work or not, but I'll bet you I'd find a spot for it if I had it sitting here. And how do you like the 18, Paul? The 18 is super cool. I like all of the Laguna saws. Like I've used, which one have I used? I think I've used a 14. But yeah, you're probably right. At the current state, it probably is too much for this. But I'd find a spot. I'm gonna have to look for one. Maybe I can find a used one around here somewhere. The 18's cool. What's that have? Like a 14-inch resaw capacity or something? And Neptune says, "Is Marmite like Vegemite?" At least that's the way I'm thinking of it. Neptunes. If it's not, then I'm all mistaken. Mike says, "I too wish I had the tools to do it myself." Yeah. See, I don't know what that is. Is that just us that like to build things, like to be able to do whatever it is we want to do? It's Yeah, I don't know. It's for me anyway. It's not a matter of I don't want to ask a buddy for help. It's not a problem with that. It's just it'd just be so much easier if you didn't have to. I don't really know a good way to express that or explain that thought. Paul says it was a great saw. I gave it away to make room for the 18. Says love the 18. I had already wired the shop for 220, so it was great. Nice. Robert says, yeah, it just sucks having to rely on going to other places to work on things you want. I did that when building an entertainment center, going back and forth to my cousins. Yeah, there is that inconvenience factor, right? In order, if I was going to resaw some pieces at a buddy's, well, I got to load them up in the car, and I got to drive over there, and I got to try to work with him to find a good time to stop by, and then I'm using someone else's tools, and what if I break his blade, and then I got to buy him a new blade, or it's just a lot easier if I break my own blade. Sam says, Marmite is different from Vegemite. Marmite is a yeast extract from beer production. Really? Totally not what I thought it was. I was equating it to Vegemite. Interesting. Paul says the 18 has a 16-inch capacity, 14 had a 13, but some of my lumber is too big to fit on that one. Yeah, I've got plenty pieces that are bigger than 13, but 13 is plenty, to be able to resaw, you know, back and sides, even solid body parts, especially if you're going to book match kind of deal. I know for a fact, though, I could not run the 18 here. I don't have 220. So right now I'm kind of limited to 120. And I know the 14 has a 120 version. Maybe they have both. I think they do, but I know it runs on 120, or it can. Neptune says, "Thanks, Sam, but it doesn't sound appetizing to me, though." Well, it's not what I was thinking. It's not what I'm going to be honest, but I'd try it. I'd say I'm fairly adventurous when it comes to trying food. Paul says the 18 has a 3-horse motor and it slices through everything like it's not even there. I can imagine. Especially if you got a resaw blade, one of those big resaw blades. Mike said the 14 uses 110, 18 uses 220. Gotcha. Thank you, Mike, for that clarification. Sam says Marmite can be added to a mug of hot water for a tasty drink. You know something that I like, and let me know if this is something you guys have ever tried. Like those little bouillon cubes, like the little chicken bouillon cubes. I love that one of those dissolved in a mug of hot water, especially when you're feeling sick. I don't know what it is. I remember I used to drink that a lot when I would be sick. Like as a kid, my mom would just, give me a mug of broth, basically. It's like chicken noodle soup broth. It's so good. Robert says, is Vegemite a salty plant-based spread? Well, Robert, I can't say for sure because I thought it was like a potted meat. But I really don't know. Paul said I wanted to keep the 14, use it for cutting out bodies, and use the 18 for resawing, but just don't have the room. 14 has both 120 and 220s. Gotcha. The 14 can be ordered with a 2.5 horse motor. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you could get both. Yeah, I might have to just look around and see if I can find something, because I guarantee it would get used. Just finding a spot, and I'd have to get creative, which that would force me to. There's definitely some things that can be done. I just got to figure that out. Maybe that'll be a goal for this year. Do you guys set goals, like shop type goals? Is that a thing? I don't typically do New Year's resolutions, really, but I do like goals. Setting goals for things. You're like, oh, this year I want to build whatever. I want to build this bass guitar this coming year. Maybe I should add a bandsaw to that goal at some point. Find a good deal on one and get serious about trying to fit one in here. And there's Tony. Tony says, morning, sunshine. Morning, Tony. How are you this fine Wednesday? Paul says, I would have given it to you if you were willing to drive down and pick it up, but didn't think you had the space. Well, I appreciate that thought, Paul. And yeah, I would have drove down there. But you're right. At this moment, I don't have the space. But we can get creative. Robert said, Australian food spread made from leftover brewer's yeast extract with various vegetable and spice additives, according to Wikipedia. Well, if it says it on the internet, then it's gotta be true, right? Sam said a lot of American food isn't allowed in the UK due to the chemicals the FDA allows, such as eggs, bread, cornflakes, candy with colorant chemicals, etc. Huh. Interesting. You can't have cornflakes in the UK? They're just cornflakes. Doesn't get a whole lot simpler than that, does it? Not a fan of cornflakes, honestly. They make a good breading for like chicken and stuff. Neptune says, you're in Texas, aren't you, Paul? Yes. Paul says, I used to sell my tools, but started just giving them away to help people get a shop going, adding to one. Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. I think if I were to retire my little bandsaw, the hardest part would be it's plastered in stickers, and someone would get it covered in all kinds of cool stickers. I like stickers. I stick them on all sorts of stuff. The toolboxes. Something that's kind of fun is a week or so ago, I was making a new playlist of a bunch of guitar building like jigs and fixtures videos, and I was going back through some of these older videos and seeing the changes in the stickers. Like you can tell it's an earlier video when there's like no stickers on a majority of the toolbox, and then as it gets later and later, more and more stickers show up. So I got to keep working on this and get some more stickers added. So if anybody has stickers for your shop or your channel or whatever, PO box is down there. I can send you some stickers of mine as well. Sticker swap. Remember when that was a thing? Everyone was doing the sticker swap. Sam said American cornflakes don't list accurate health details, apparently. Huh. I'll be darned. Robert said, my sister made something called crack corn, made from puffed corn and almond bark. Tastes great, kind of a salty, sweet taste. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of one like that. With corn puffs and almond bark. I can imagine that would be pretty good. Paul said, my 14 had quite a few stickers on it when I gave it away. Yeah, stickers are, to me, it's kind of fun. Put stickers all over the tools and things. I don't know why. I like it. I don't like stickers all over like my vehicles and stuff. I don't put a bunch of stickers. Some people plaster their windows and their car with stickers. I don't do that, but I'll cover up my tools and toolboxes. Sam says your bread apparently has a chemical in it that's also in yoga mats. I mean, I'm not surprised, really, I guess. Neptune says my bandsaw is an old Montgomery Wards, not Monkey Wards, although I like Monkey Wards better. 14-inch, I put a treadmill motor on it, and now it cuts everything from balsa to steel. Really? You can cut steel on it? Changing the blade, I'm guessing. That's awesome. Dave says, I wallpaper my guitar flight cases with stickers so I can see them at a distance at an airport. Yes, I like stickers like that too. Yeah, flight cases are good. I don't know. It's just kind of a sort of a personalization thing. I don't know. Paul said, got a couple of military metal stickers on my Harley, but that's it. Yeah, see, I get that. Those sorts of things. Makes sense to me. Paul to Neptune says, nice. On the bandsaw, or the treadmill motor. That's cool. Robert said, the Cheetos brand has a buttered corn puff that is used in the making of cracked corn. Oh, I've not had the buttered corn puff. I like that Cheetos puff corn, though. Not a sponsor, but have you ever had that? The little puff corn thingies? Those are good. Paul said you could get a set of plans from Matthias and build your own. Think of the video opportunity. Yeah, I've considered that before too. I build my own bandsaw. Mike says, I stick sheet magnets to the back of the sticker and can place them on anything metal and move them when I want. That's a good idea. I do have a couple things that are magnetic. Like, oh, that's not magnetic. I thought that was magnetic, but apparently it's not. Few magnet. No, now I can't find a magnet. I do have a few somewhere that are magnetic. Well, anyway. Sam says, I got a flight case from Swan Flight Cases. It was for disco lighting. Get some disco lighting going on in here. That's cool. Yeah, I just like flake cases. Robert says I like the white cheddar flavor puffs myself. Yeah. Or like the hot spicy ones. What are they? The flaming hot. I like those. Or am I thinking of something different? I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to spend a little bit of time looking around online, see if we can locate a used bandsaw of some sort. Maybe that'll motivate me to make some do a little bit of changing, reconfiguring. That's the word. Yeah, now you guys got me thinking about that. When I should be right now thinking on the acoustic guitar. That's what I should be doing. We'll see what the year brings. We shall see. I don't know. But yeah, I have Paul. You mentioned Matthias. I've seen his. He like builds all of his stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, his wooden bandsaw. That would be pretty cool. Sam says the company actually does a adult doll flight cases. They're a new addition. Interesting. That sounds a little sounds a little weird to me. Mike says if you find any in the PNW, well, let me know. I will. Are you in the market? Dello says sorry to ask something else. What program do you use for 3D modeling and making G code? Dello, don't apologize for that. It's you got a question, you ask it. I don't care if we're talking about Cheetos or we're talking about bandsaws. It's all good. But if I'm going to model up a piece, whatever it is, my go-to program is Fusion 360. That's the program that I use to make the model, and then from there, you can create all of the G code and everything to make your part. The thing I like about Fusion, and there probably most of those modeling softwares are the same way. But if I'm modeling up something to 3D print, you can export the model, and then to 3D print it, then I use a program called Cura, Cura. You pull the model into that, and that does all the slicing for 3D printing and actually creates the file, the G code file for the 3D printer. So it's kind of a two-step process. Now I think you can possibly do that all within Fusion, but I found that it's a lot easier just to create the model in Fusion, then I save the model as an STL file, and then I will take that STL file, put it into Fusion, which slices it up into layers, and then creates the G code for the 3D printer. Also in Fusion, I use that for anything that I'm going to cut on the CNC machine, because again, you can create the model, then you go into a different area of Fusion, and I can create the G code that gets sent to the CNC machine. So I use Fusion for all of my modeling, and then depending on what I need to do with it from there, if it's 3D printing, I save it as an STL, open it in Cura to slice it for the 3D printer. If it's going for the CNC, then I can save the G code right out of Fusion. So that's kind of my process. Hopefully that answers your question. So, but that's how I do it. Now, there's a bunch of other 3D modeling softwares out there. I don't have any experience with the other ones, but I know many people do. And like what are they, like Rhino? There's like Easel and all kinds of. There's a lot of different ones out there that would work. I'm certain they would work perfectly for whatever it is you're trying to do. But for me, I use Fusion and then Cura to create the file for the 3D printer. That's my process. Sam says Cheeto sauce. If you mix them. Neptune says, I use a Libre for 3D design. Mine isn't a free version though. Yes to what Jeff said about Fusion. Yes, Neptune's has quite a bit of 3D printing experience as well, and can probably offer some other 3D programs. Neptune's. I just don't have any experience with the other ones. When I first got my 3D printer, I decided that I wanted to use Fusion, and I purchased an online course for it to help me get the basics down, and then from there, I just had to, do a lot of experimenting and learning, to figure it all out. That's just the one that I decided to use, but there's a lot of other ones that you could totally use. Sam says, can 3D printers print transparent items such as light lenses? There might be some high-end ones that maybe could do that. I'm not 100% sure. Robert says, I can't remember the channel name, but during the first GGBO competition, there was an older gentleman that had a shopsmith machine that he modified the bandsaw to raise the max cut height. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen lots of modifications done to those shopsmiths. Dallas says, yes, thank you for your answer. Actually, I was making a print with Fusion, but the interface was really not familiar with me. I thought I could use it like Illustrator. Yes, I know what you're saying. There is quite a learning curve, I would say, with Fusion. And that is why when I decided to learn Fusion, I actually, like I said, purchased a course to kind of walk through the basics. Excuse me. And I think that helped me quite a bit. But yeah, it's very strange. And I find that between all kinds of programs. If you go from Illustrator to Fusion to, I don't know, they're just all everything, they all operate differently in quite a few ways. What messes me up is I'll go from Fusion, then I'll go into a video editing software to work on a video, and then I might go into Studio One, which is an audio recording software, and then I might go into Illustrator because I'm trying to make a file for this, and then I might go into AutoCAD because I'm trying to fine-tune whatever file I couldn't get right in Illustrator, and they all work different. They all zoom different. They all scroll different. It's kind of frustrating, really. But yeah, I know what you mean. There is a learning curve, and it does get a little bit frustrating. Neptune's has an answer for Sam. It says, not very well on the lens thing, unless it's resin-based 3D printing. Adela says, free is always good. Yes. Neptune says, I use Cura for my slicer too. But he says, but the Prusa slicer is good too, but I'm not that familiar with it. Yes, I have tried the Prusa slicer, and it did what I needed to, but I just really wanted to try it out. So I don't even have that installed anymore, but that wasn't because it was bad or anything. I was just curious, and I wanted to experiment with it and see how it worked. But yeah, I've been liking Cura. You gotta mess around with some of the settings I've found, but overall Cura works for me. I like to be able to have, I'll save my materials in there with all the presets so that a lot of the times I can just call up, one of the materials and all the settings will be there. The ones after I've modified them, to work out, to get a better print quality, I'll save that as the settings in there, and that's been kind of handy, but you can probably do that in all of them, really. Robert says, there's a program called ZBrush that is really neat, but more of an animation-based 3D program. I've heard of that, but I have not tried it. I have zero experience with ZBrush. I've heard of it, though. Sam says, here's how to deal with porch pirates. Box up all the junk mail, seal the box, address it to yourself with details, and leave it for the pirates to pick them up. That's a good idea. Give them all your recyclable materials or something. That's funny. Neptune says, whoops. Oh, Prusa slicer. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, didn't even notice that. Tony says, stickers in the mail. Bam. Right on, Tony. I'll send you out some when I get them. Right on. Thank you. That'll be awesome. We'll get them up on the toolbox and stuff. Robert says, I think the same company that makes Fusion as an animation type, has an animation type program called Mudbox. I have not heard of Mudbox. That would be a, what is that? Same company that does AutoCAD. And a bunch of other programs. Huh, Mudbox. I'll have to look that up. Interesting. See, I'm learning stuff. Autodesk. That's it. Autodesk. That's the word I was trying to think of. I had a little brain fade there. Autodesk. Makes Fusion, AutoCAD, I don't know, a bunch of other very expensive programs. Cool. Right on. Yeah, Neptune's, there, you got me. Autodesk, yes. Sam says, have you tried the Bacon Buddy yet? I have not. Nope. So I will at some point, but I haven't tried them yet. I do have bacon, though. Right on. Well, guys, we are about at that time of the show where we wrap things up and carry on with our daily activities. So if you haven't already, now's the time to hit that thumbs up button. You still got time before we sign out. So I want to say thank you to all of you for joining in this last live stream of 2023 and for joining in on all of the live streams for 2023. It's been a great year. Hard to believe that the next time we get together, next Wednesday, it's going to be 2024. So make sure you take a few minutes and ponder on the year. I wish I could insert some ponderous music. But yeah, I want to wish you all well, we're past Christmas, but merry belated Christmas and a happy new year. And yeah, I can't believe we're going to see each other next year. It's crazy. Thank you guys for your support throughout all of this entire year. I really appreciate it. And with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. Sam says, thank you, Neptune, for your time this year, or time today. See, I'm thinking about that. Neptune says, everyone have a great and happy and safe new year. Sam says, thanks for the fantastic stream. Dallas says, have a great end of this year, and we'll see you all next year. Paul says, have a great week. Happy New Year. See you next year. Sam says, be safe, everyone. Have a wonderful new year. Neptune says, welcome, Sam. Robert says, everyone stay safe and healthy. Hope next year is much better than this one has been. Yeah. Here's to a great new year, everyone. We'll be back next year. It's been awesome. Right on, Neptunes. Thanks for your help. I appreciate it, man. Neptune says, hi to the family, Jeff. Right on. Same to you, Neptunes. Tell everyone hello. You guys, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. So, we're gonna, as we wrap this up, Happy New Year. You guys be safe if you're going out and about. Be safe. And, yeah, stay safe and healthy. We'll see you guys next year. New video planned for this weekend. So, we'll see you then. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time. Take care. Happy New Year. Oh, the button worked. Look at that. No.